The definition of body dysmorphia is a mental health condition in which you can't stop thinking about perceived flaws in appearance, a flaw that seems minor or can't be seen by others. I see a lot of videos on this and a lot of jokes made around it, but the fact of the matter is, it is serious and can affect a person in the worst ways. Health is not just physical, but it's mental too. And oftentimes, we can't visibly see mental health issues, and sometimes we're even unaware of our own. Our conscious and unconscious thoughts create our feelings, actions, and our reality. I've only recently started to understand what body dysmorphia is, even though I've struggled with it for a huge part of my life. Body dysmorphia is different for everyone, but I want to raise awareness on how it affects me, how it is caused, and how dangerous it can be if it goes unnoticed. These are just some of the thoughts that would go through my head on a daily, no matter how thin or muscular or healthy I was. No matter if I was in the best shape of my life or the worst shape, and no matter how healthy my habits or lifestyle were. Why do I have this lower belly pouch? I look like I'm 3 months pregnant. Why does my stomach look huge when I sit? I can't wear this, my waist isn't small enough. I look horrible now that I've lost my muscle mass. Where did the cellulite even come from? Why does this happen? What causes body dysmorphia? There can be a lot of different causes, but it usually stems from an outsider opinion that you let yourself believe. Somebody tells you something negative and you choose to believe it and start to think that way about yourself. Whether that be a bully in high school calling you fat, or your mom telling you to shave because you look like a boy with body hair, anything like this can lead you to believe things that aren't true about yourself. Negative comments from others cause self-doubt, insecurities, and ultimately lead you to question what you believe to be true of yourself. It changes your own thoughts and feelings towards yourself. If there were no negative comments or bullying or any of that, we would have a true and real perception of ourselves, and a positive one. We would just get the unfiltered and real opinion of what we actually think about ourselves, and not the one that's clouded by the views and opinions of others, the societal standards that we see much too often on social media. We wouldn't just randomly think on our own, oh, my teeth are so short and ugly, because there were no comments from people about what the ideal teeth are, and no one ever pointed yours out. So why would you think that your teeth are ugly if there were no standards or we didn't know anything about, what ideal teeth were or anything like that? But nowadays we constantly see and hear people saying negative comments about any so-called flaws, and people are constantly getting veneers and changing their teeth, so we can see how much of an impact these standards have on our actions. We want to change things about ourselves because others want to change things about us. And it's really important to understand that whenever somebody says something negative towards you, it's simply a projection of their own insecurity. It's their own problems that they're projecting onto you. It has nothing to do with you. It all has to do with how they think of themselves. So can you see how negative of a cycle this can get? It only takes one mean comment from a friend, family member, or even a complete stranger to bring us down, because we let it. We chose to believe it and let it affect our feelings and actions. Then compound this over years and years, and boom, body dysmorphia. It's important to know that all these negative thoughts and just feelings of self-hate and poor self-image lead to so much sadness, anxiety, just being constantly negative, and this can cause a lot of major health problems. It all comes down to our choices though. We can put an end to it. We can believe something different about ourselves. Last summer, I weighed the lightest I ever weighed. I was very skinny, and I still saw myself as fat. I would look in the mirror, point something out, and it would constantly be in the back of my mind. The thousands of videos of girls with a small waist, abs, and huge glutes definitely don't help. It makes us think, why can't I look like that? Here's the thing I realized. Everything happens for a reason. You even look the way you look for a reason. You were perfectly created. Down to the last hair on your body, down to the last wrinkle or freckle, you were perfectly crafted. The hairs above your belly button and your lower belly sticking out that you are so self-conscious about, no one even notices. That's that's the kicker. The things that we feel so worried about and these flaws that are so blown up in our minds, people don't even pay attention. You are the hardest judge on yourself. No one is ever going to be that hard on you. Every time one of these thoughts pop into my head now, I'm ultra aware of it and I immediately replace it instead of feeding into it and then spiraling and crying and all that other stuff we don't want. So here's an example of how I've been doing it, and quite honestly, it's been working really well. If I have a thought like, I look horrible in this, my waist is too big, that becomes, I'm slaying in this, I love my unique style and look. I focus on creating new belief systems for myself and not the false beliefs of others. I have learned that self-worth has nothing to do with how you look. How you look is the least special thing about you. Our physical bodies are temporary. It is our soul that will live on forever. I have also learned that health and happiness comes from the inside and not the outside. I trust in my ability to maintain my healthy habits the majority of the time, and I know how to make changes when I need to treat my body better. Health comes from the inside. How are you eating? Are you being active? Are you taking care of yourself for the most part? This is what's important. How you look is not important. Even though our automatic negative thoughts can just abruptly pop up, the second and subsequent thoughts after this one are completely in our control. We have the power to change from being our biggest critic to our biggest fan. We can overcome body dysmorphia and replace it with confidence, love, and unlimited happiness. It is completely in our hands to become aware of the negative automatic thoughts and replace them with positive ones. Something else that has helped me a lot is learning to give myself compliments and feed off of the words that I tell myself instead of relying on others for reassurance or compliments or to feel good. Instead, I do that for myself. I look in the mirror and I compliment myself. I think, hey, you know what? You're rocking that dress. You're looking amazing. I also focus on what I'm proud of, what I've accomplished. I write out things I love about myself. I replace unhealthy habits with healthy habits. And I just think different thoughts. It is 110% possible to combat body dysmorphia. I know that I have struggled with it for a long time, like I said, and doing these different things have helped a long way. I've also significantly decreased the amount of time that I spend on social media and things like that, because that's not helping. So you can too. Just focus on what's in your control, implement healthy, constructive habits, and you too can be happy, healthy, and confident.